development as well as advocacy expert. A fine morning to you, Jake.
Good morning, brother. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
for being there for us.
Really, I should be thanking you. Now, looking at the sort of diplomatic situation that is evolving regarding us and Libya, it started out in, of all reasons, from the point of view of what? From the sports, from a sporting platform. And suddenly we're now hearing about Libya planning to mass deport Nigerians. I don't know, what have you found out? Is that overstating it, mass deportation of Nigerians?
Well, Brother Flori, I think this is one country that we have, and whatever is affecting the citizenry should be a concern for all. The background about this whole Nigeria-Libya fiasco is it started when they came here for the football match, and for some reason, they were told where to land. They chose Port Harcourt to land, and when they landed at short notice, the NFA quickly put together the transportation for them to go by road to Uyo. All of that was done. They kept complaining. They kept making excuses for preparation. But eventually, we warned them. So they left. Unknown to us, they were planning what would look like a reprisal attack. And our team went to Libya. Instead of allowing them to land in Benghazi, which is the capital, they moved them to an airport that had been abandoned. And they landed there, spent over 20 hours in frustration. They wanted to humiliate them, frustrate them, and of course, psychologically, that will work against them. The team came back, which is the most very critical and worthy decision to make. You can't humiliate me and expect me to stay in your country and play. They came back, okay? Now, when they came back, the Nigerian Football Association had to officially report the matter to CAF. And CAF took it upon themselves, irrespective of all the intimidation by them against the South African president, telling him they would not support him for his re-election and all that. Bottom line, they took a decision, holistic decision, which is expected, that they should lose that match since they were found responsible for all that happened. And then were told to pay $50,000. Now, that was CAF decision. That wasn't Nigerian decision. But the Libyan authority are now taking it out on Nigerians. There are two things that are happening, that are playing out. Number one is the mass arrest. It has started. It's not like it's about, it has started. They are picking them up, throwing some of them in jail, threatening to deport many of them. There is also, it's also important here to note that there are some Nigerians there that don't have all the papers and everything, which is illegal, because Libya had become a channel by which many of these young men and women who are looking for greener pasture go to Europe. So there is an ongoing effort to pick up Nigerians, throw them in jail, and all that. Now, it's fueled by the public sentiment, masterminded by the media, machinery of Libya. They are encouraging their government to go against Nigerians, pick up Nigerians, throw them out of the country, and force them to pay $500 for the so-called non-documentation, And the strategy is for them to use that platform to raise the $50,000 which they will pay. Now, it's very pertinent here to mention that the foreign ministry, Nigerian foreign ministry, and the consular must step up their game if they are not doing that already. But they need to be more proactive and to ensure that this kind of humiliation, which has been the order of the day, Libya is not the only country. South Africa tried it, you know. Sorry, you know, the power thing, you know. They're taking power from the, but at least you can still see me, you know. So these are some of the concerns that should be addressed, and should be addressed immediately by both the Foreign Ministry and the Commission for Diaspora. You know, there is a need for us to move quickly, because this has become a regular occurrence across the nations, you know, and we need to nip it in the bud. I am very, very, very patriotic about what happened to our citizens, especially outside the country. So Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Diaspora Commission, the consulate in Benghazi needs to swing into action to address this issue, to avoid this humiliation of other countries that they take out on Nigeria. This has become a regular issue, and every Nigerian matters, no matter where they are.
Okay.
And that protection must be there. I mean, there are other things that I would like to talk about in terms of what I think
maybe in the course
they can do. Yes.
Yes, maybe in the course of the program, you know. Well, as you've pointed out, there is a part that the media is supposedly playing in all of this. As you well know, diplomacy often, you know, now and again we'll be able to apply this reciprocity principle. You do me, I do you, God no go vex. You raise the fees for visa here, we raise the fees for visa there. You make it difficult for our country, our citizens to do this, we make it equally as difficult. Now, if there was the original charge of shabby treatment by the Nigerian officials that somehow was not noticed or picked up on, and the Libyans, you know, this is now just looking at it, sort of bided their time, knowing that the opportunity would come. I don't know if they made a representation to Nigeria protesting what they considered as shabby treatment. But as you said, all sorts of conjectures are now coming into it that even self, that $50,000 that CAF fined them as a result of unsportsmanlike behavior and all of that, it is the Nigerians who will pay it. By the time we arrest all of them, we levy them 5,000 naira, then we'll take all that money. Now, I'm sure the diplomatic community will know how best to handle this. We'll also know what are fibs, what are conjecture, what are figments of the imagination. Because the way it is going, I'm even hearing about mass deportation. That's why I asked you, are you hearing anything similar about mass deportation? Okay, so
yes.
I understand that that the subject matter has been revisited since. For instance, I think following a representation to CAF, maybe the fine has been removed, but it's an ongoing matter, as you well know. And you yourself said that the Foreign Affairs Ministry needs to be on it. But sometimes emotions get involved, especially when it's all about soccer as well. But any injustice or harm done to any Nigerian should be a cause for concern. But then we want to be sure that we don't sort of exaggerate what is going on, as you seem to be sure we are not doing.
No, Brother Flori, there's no exaggeration here. You know, the social media has become a powerhouse that every little thing you're doing in your own corner can just hit the global platform. There are Nigerians there they've made videos, you know, with their faces and their outcry. It's trending, you know. But also there are also individuals that people like us can reach to verify what's going on, you know. And so in matters like this, there is 2-3 things that I would like to present. Number one, there's always a issue of human rights concern. You know, how our people are treated, what is happening to them. Yes, for those of them who breaks the law, they should face the law. But those of them who have not, There are instances where they even show papers. They take the papers from them. There are Nigerians who have become Libyans by citizenship.
Okay.
They are threatening to take their passport from them and throw them out. We need to investigate these things.
Indeed.
Whenever things like happens, Brother Folari, there is always diplomatic tension. Therefore, there are diplomatic channels to handle these tensions. I don't want to sit here and presume that maybe Foreign Affairs and the diplomatic consulate in there are not working towards this. But they need to do something faster so that we can use this as an example. It has happened too many times. That's my concern. It happened too many times where Nigerians are disrespected, killed, maimed. Even if they commit crime, they need to take them through a legal process where if they are convicted, we can sit back and say, yes, they deserve that because they broke the law. But not people who are there, some of them are going through the usual process of validating their stay, maybe refugee status at that. And then you use this kind of opportunity and you start treating them as pawns. That must not be allowed. It's not accepted. So it's important for the right ministries, again, Foreign Affairs, the Diaspora Commission, to step up. And if they are doing that, they need to communicate so that people like us will know.
Exactly. Exactly. It does need to be thoroughly. Indeed. They need to thoroughly investigate this whole matter and be able to report back.
And also, yes, they need to also let us know what they have done.
Indeed.
Eventually.
Indeed.
So there has to be a present action and there has to be a post-crisis report so that we can know that when this type of thing happened to this type of people, this was what was done, and this is the kind of step we took. That will serve as a deterrent to other countries who wants to do this. Even our small neighbors here, Republic of Benin, they treat Nigerians there with disrespect. You
just said our small neighbor here. You just said our small neighbor here. Might Nigeria be inadvertently offending people all over the place? A neighbor is a neighbor.
Our brothers.
A neighbor is a neighbor. But our small neighbor here, they say, aha, you see Nigerians? You see Nigerians? Now, this might not be a thing that you can write down, but it can be a thing about we're waiting for you people. That time, when we come, I don't know. That was just a joke. That was just a little joke.
I take back my word. I'll use the phrase our close neighbor.
But seriously, you're making these points. Nigeria must be looked out for, and one can't allow bad treatment of Nigerians. But the point has often been made, and that's why, as you so rightly said, the Foreign Affairs Ministry needs to get in on this and let us know exactly what the situation is and what they have been doing about it. Otherwise, people can jump to all sorts of conclusions. As you know, the Foreign Ministry, even sometimes at the level of the presidency, are constantly advising our nationals that when you are anywhere outside, you need to be on your best behavior as an immediate ambassador of your beloved country. Because people will take what you do and just as it were, spread it all over the country. It doesn't matter who you are, where you are. If you are a Nigerian, all Nigerians will pay for that. And I think without prejudice to some of the things that you have said, that Nigerians have been treated shabbily in certain cases, there still is the whole responsibility, we've been told of our citizens to be on their very best behavior. And that is without prejudice to the facts of this case, which you have said we need to be informed on how far it has been taken. But Brother Jake, let me just bring on Mr. George. Good morning, Mr. George.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling in.
Good morning to Mr. Jake Capella.
Yes.
Uncle Yori, I've said it on a number of times on this program that our Ministry of Foreign Affairs the minister in particular is not active. If you look at history, when it comes to Nigerians being maltreated abroad, it's Abike Dabiri, the leader or the head of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, that does the work of the foreign minister. When it is time, when they are being maltreated, she's the one we see doing everything. She should even be the Minister of Foreign Affairs. The reason why she can't do more than she's doing now is because she's not mandated as the country's foreign minister to do it. If you give that lady that job, she will do it much, much better. Nigeria is not asserting itself in the international stage as it should be. Uncle Yori, with what I know, I can tell you this. If it was possible for these European countries and other developed societies to drive us away from Nigeria and then take over our resources and occupy here, while we will go to their own country, they will do it because of what is here. I've been privileged to travel to several countries. I've not seen one that has the kind of resources that the Almighty has given this country called Nigeria. They envy us. Instead of respecting us for who we are and what we have, they will be deriding us. Look at South Africa the other day, or several times. They come here to make billions of dollars. Then when our people go there to trade or do something, they start killing them, doing all sorts of things to them, and Nigeria will not respond. What Libya has done now, the right thing to do is, it should deport any Nigerian, even if it's only one Libyan that is living in this country, Nigeria should deport that person back to his country as well. In diplomacy, you do not play the weak. That's what diplomacy is about. You must show strength. Nigeria is not showing strength at the world stage. Who says we are not strong? We have everything that it takes to be great. I believe my country is greater than any other country. If we have management deficits, it doesn't stop us from being who we are and what we have. Let us exert our strength when it becomes necessary. Minister of Foreign Affairs should not be sitting down after a council meeting to be addressing the press. If international affairs are in council meeting, he should be seen defending Nigerians. We are not saying, like the speaker said, if somebody has offended the laws of a country, he can pay for it. But his human rights must not be taken from him. Indeed. How dare you treat my national team the way I saw in Libya? And the same people are now threatening to, deport Nigerians in that. Who is Libya, by the way? We should tell them who they are.
All right.
Sorry, I'm angry.
Well, thank you very much for calling in, Mr. George. Okay, Brother Jake.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I heard him loud and clear. Let's take it piece by piece. Like I always say, Brother Larry, my analysis, the overall objective of my analysis is to find solution. So what are the solutions, immediate and remote solutions that we need to embark on? Number one, wherever there's issues like this, one is to activate diplomatic channel of engagement. Talk to the people at the diplomatic highest level. Engage the authorities, both at home and abroad. So the foreign minister has the authority of Mr. President and the global instruments to summon the ambassador immediately for a discussion, telling them that this will not be acceptable. Peradventure, that has been done.
Yes, exactly. We don't know. Yeah, it might indeed be a work in progress.
Yeah. But you see, how you know is immediate mitigation of the issue. That issue is still ongoing. So whatever they've done, if they have done it, is not producing the result that we want.
I agree with you.
I think the second thing, and I'll
could I just take one caller that we have held up? We're holding on to a caller. So let me bring that caller in, and then you go on to the second point you wanted to make. Good morning, sir. Joshua in Irewolide.
Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. I can't hear you very well, but I don't think it's your fault.
Your guest.
Good morning.
Uncle Yori, at this stage, this is an era of smart technology. Governance has gone beyond just rhetoric, just talks. Governance is now very powerful with communication. I want to say that the present government can do better than they are doing. I know that we voted for the president on account of competence, but he can't do it alone. It has to be a joint venture, as it were. Something is wrong with this governance that is going on currently, Uncle Yori. There's a complete communication in the public that is not aligning with the communication that is coming from government. So there's a lot of room to fill in the gap. And so there are several assumptions coming out here and there. This government needs to be put together. And the point in the public is the president is the arrowhead, the buck stops at his desk. Is it not time for the president to call a break? If there is a time in Nigeria to call a national conference where all of us can talk as a nation, where all of us can give direction to this country, it is now. Because communication is very powerful. Uncle Yori, the president and his people need to know that there's a communication out there that is different from what they are doing in governance.
Indeed.
Like Uncle George said, this nation is being trampled upon. Unfortunately, it is not just about international community or other nations. It is by us. We are the ones undermining the integrity of Nigeria. Other people are just adding to what we are doing to ourselves. Because they can hear this communication internationally, how we are treating ourselves as a nation. We seem not to be able to get anything right. So that is why it's almost right for anybody to treat us anyhow they like. So I would use your platform to say, let the president know that we believe in him. We know that he can do better. And let his team sit up. Nigeria is much better than all these tubo here and there. You cannot bring fuel from Dangote to the market. Everybody is arguing just because of stomach infrastructure, because of what they will eat. Everyone has forgotten about nationalism.
Yeah.
Everybody is about food. What is the food? Food that we will eat and die? Uncle Yori, we need a better nation than what we have now. Thanks, sir.
Thank you very much for calling in, Mr. Joshua. Okay, Brother Jake, let me just take a break and be right back because we've come to that time. Stay with us, please. We'll be right back. Okay, indeed. Thank you very much for staying with us, and welcome if you are just arriving. We're looking at the situation. It's we started out, it's a sporting situation, but it also has diplomatic overtones. The Confederation of African Football, following treatment meted out to Nigerian visiting players, has, and complaints from Nigeria, has put some very stiff sanctions on the Libyans, both their sports, their own confederation, and all of that. But the latest news we're hearing is that following the intervention of Libya's Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Abdel Hadi Al-Houaji, they have, CAF has looked at it again, and they have cancelled, those sanctions. So Libya will be able to play at home in their own country for their own nationals. I just mentioned something that we have not been able to say. I just said that Libya's Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Abdel Hadi Al-Houaji, has intervened. Now, we can't say that our Minister of Foreign Affairs has intervened, even though he well might have. But it goes back to something that I think the presidency said and that we have referred to here as a winking in the dark syndrome. You can't, if you're winking in the dark, you must let people know that even though they can't see, this is exactly what's going on. And the president had said that he has, enjoined all the ministers to take to Nigerians everything that they are doing. Now, as I said, I was being careful because we don't know the extent to which the foreign ministry has gone, but it hasn't been reported back to us. And that's the problem, that's the point that Jacob Pele, policy development and advocacy expert, has been making. If they are doing anything, because Nigerians feel emotional about themselves, about their compatriots anywhere in the world. So whatever has been done about this sanction, we don't know, but we do need to get an official position. For instance, it might have seemed that Nigeria was assuaged by, the measures that were put down, but now we're hearing that they've been withdrawn. So, but more importantly, it's about taking care of Nigerians wherever they are, their safety, their integrity, their respect, respectability, even as Nigerians are also being told very forcefully from home to respect the laws of wherever they find themselves, Brother Jake.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, Flurry. You see, whether it is
it's a network issue. I'm hoping that it will resolve itself in another second or two. It's a network issue, but we can still take phones. So go ahead and call in on this whole matter, how you see it. The confusing part is that we don't know. We cannot imagine that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is just sitting on its hands. So we can't imagine that is the case. But
Brother Polari, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Please continue then. Continue. There was a time when you went away. Please continue then.
Oh, no. Okay. So like I said, the first solution is this diplomatic engagement at the lowest and the highest level. Second, which is something that should be activated every time we have this kind of issue. The consulate itself needs to establish and activate support and legal assistance, for the citizens within that country. The present ambassador, the ambassador of Libya, if he has not done that, should do that immediately.
Exactly.
Because most times, I've been in countries where you reach out to the consulate there, they say, oh, leave us, we don't know. And they even complain openly, we don't have money to run, we can't help. That should stop.
It really has to.
Must switch.
It has to.
Yeah,
let me bring on Oladele, who has called in from Abeokuta. Okay, I just lost Oladele there. But to go back to this point, that I don't know. We can't all have missed it. We haven't heard a statement from the Foreign Affairs Ministry, and this is what Nigerians would have expected, so that we know. It would just be in addition to what we are being fed on the newspapers. For instance, not very many Nigerians, unless they are die-hard football fans, perhaps, will be aware of the fact that Libya has withdrawn. Not Libya. CAF has withdrawn, one or the other, if not both, of those penalties that were imposed as a result of, one, the way that whole Libyan debacle was presented to them and the way they were able to represent it back to CAF. But it is for these kind of reasons that the presidency has said that let the ministers let the citizens know what is going on, what they are doing in their ministry. It's not all about trade, as important as that is, trade and business, but also matters that affect nationals in this way. Joel in Ondo State, are you there? Is it Joel? Joel in Ondo State, I think I missed you. I lost you as well. Did I drop? Did that call drop?
I'm listening. I'm hearing you.
Okay, Joel, go right ahead. Quickly, please. Go right ahead, Joel.
Okay. Good morning, sir.
Thank you for calling in.
Good morning, Okanyeri.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling. Go ahead.
What what is there is that we don't approach things the way they're supposed to be. Thank you. Sport is not politics. Why did Libya try to punish Nigeria for sport?
I heard you. I heard you.
Sport is not politics. So the problem is that Nigerians should be careful wherever they are going.
All right. Yeah. But
so, because this Libyan government, they know that Nigerians also, Libyans are here in Nigeria. Why should they be trying to punish Nigerians because of sport?
Indeed. It is a question that we should be able to get some clarity on. And as we are saying, Joel, it's the Ministry of Foreign Affairs that is best placed. Maybe if he doesn't want to come out directly on the matter, let it route it through the Ministry of Sports. I don't know, whatever. But it does seem to be a diplomatic affair. And Jake Akpelo at the top of the program sort of gave us an overview of where all of this started from. Where all of this started on the innocent pitch of a sporting competition that has now, gone beyond that. So there were even issues of sportsmanship, good sportsmanship and all of that. But I don't really, and this is the confusing part that Jake is highlighting, we don't really know where exactly we are in this matter because we need to have an official voice on it. Certainly the Ministry of Foreign Affairs will know. We do have a minister in that position. We have not heard from him, but we have heard about the Libyan Minister of Foreign Affairs and international cooperation, a gentleman called Abdel Hadi Al-Huwaji. He has weighed in on behalf of Libya, so much so that reportedly those sanctions have now been either reversed, if not totally, either reduced or totally dropped. So Jake...
Brother Falari, this, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Look, my brother, let's be honest, this nonsense must stop. Do we have to wait for Libya to appeal that the penalty they gave to them should stop before they know that they don't have to mistreat us? We are not responsible for that decision. So I'm not impressed. Them going public to say that the penalty had been waived. We are not responsible for the penalty. We didn't.
We weren't.
Institute the penalty.
So exactly.
It's not impressive. But let's talk about what we need to do now as solution.
Okay.
Now there are people, I'm sure, they are either going to repatriate. We need to also activate from the foreign ministry the repatriation and rehabilitation program so that when these people come back, they can find some level of succor and opportunity to start rebuilding their life again. It's also very important here and pertinent to say, and I can make you that promise, that immediately after this program, I know someone who can reach the minister. I will try and reach him and ask them to tell them to even come here on your program, at short notice and explain what they are doing so that we don't wrongfully accuse them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But one point that every caller kept making here is the issue of public awareness campaign. Whenever these issues happen, whenever this type of thing happens, we shouldn't treat it with levity. The foreign affairs or even the diplomatic mission should immediately put up, activate a contact line or somebody that we can contact and say, what is the situation? Where are we? What are you doing to address the issue? And so on and so forth. Okay. I think there's also another point that I would like. And that's the point
I beg your pardon. May I just gently interrupt again there because another caller has come online. Mazi Okoroafo, good morning to you, sir.
Yes, I'm Mazi Okoroafo from Aruchu. Good morning, sir. Good morning, guest in the studio. You see, the Libyans cannot listen to deport or not to deport. One, any Nigerians that are passing through Libya, going to Europe, they are passing through Libya. And many of them are generating revenue for the economy of Libya. So there are two things which Libya should understand. that Nigerians are the people that is making the economy to grow. All those people that they carry in their vehicles and do any other means, is it not yielding the economy to the government or those living on those borderlands? Now the question is, it is time for us now that we decide exactly what we want. Because if in our country, we cannot sit down here, do the needful, and forget about these other countries. Because if Nigerians have been settling down here and develop the economy and make sure that we move forward here, whatever we have, we manage it. And stop depending on going to all these nearby countries. All these things will not happen. Because many Nigerians go to do all these miniature jobs to follow that route to go to Europe. Then some of them will settle in Libya for some time before finding their way to them. In the process of settling down, they will do miniature jobs. These are graduates in Nigeria. They are supposed to find something here and do, and at least even those people are stipend. It will help them. When they go there to degrade themselves, that is why you see Libya. Libya is a small country, just maybe like Lagos or Ibadan. And you look at what they are doing. Is it because of the match? How can you carry Nigeria and enter Benghazi from Tripoli to Benghazi? Do you know the route to Benghazi? Benghazi road from people to Benghazi. It's a very terrible road. And that Benghazi, when Gaddafi was captured, was transferred, you do not through that Benghazi, through that tunnel. You should know how terrible that Benghazi is. How terrible, all bad animals are not there. And they are not even satisfied that the people don't give them environment and because of that they feel because they came to Nigeria, no. Nigeria should sit and forget about Libya because we don't need anything from them. Because we hold that place to go to Europe. That is why you see them making all this noise. Because Nigeria will go there and settle down between all this miniature. That's what they see happen. Is it the school that is there or what? Since the death of Gaddafi, that is the collapse of Libya. So they shouldn't be making one noise because they should go and do for the colonial massacre that threatened and kept them to that condition. Not to be coming to Africa to look for succor. Good morning.
Good morning, Mazi Okorafor. A bit angry this morning. It does that to you.
Everybody should be, Falari. Everybody should be, you know. This kind of situation brings out the best in us as it relates to patriotism. You know, unfortunately, like you rightly said, even when the president is doing the needful, his lieutenants, those around him, are not helping to project what they are doing so that we will know not just sit down to complain. But I think there's one very important point that I want to make.
Sure.
You know, there's a need for the diplomatic mission in Libya and the foreign affairs, including the Diaspora Commission, to explore the opportunities of using regional countries, you know, that we have bilateral cooperation, using them as an exit point for some of these people that are going through issues. Because some of them, they pick them on the streets, you know. Others, they come to their house, knock on their door, and just pick them. It's a very chaotic situation, you know. So is there any way we can, while we are making all the efforts to get them out or make sure that they don't kill them, which they do in most of their prisons.
Indeed.
You know, let's also use the regional organization countries that we have bilateral cooperation as an exit strategy for some of them. But something has to be done, and something has to be done quickly. Libya is just one case too many.
Indeed. We have a call coming in from Shagamu, but we didn't catch the name. Are you there? Can you hear us in Shagam?
Yeah, Mohammed for Shagam.
Mohammed. Okay, good morning to you, sir. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, Uncle Yori, and good morning to our guest.
Thank you.
I quickly want to add that, first of all, we should be able to determine. Hello?
We can hear you. Please continue.
Yeah, I think we should be able to determine what our people doing in Libya. Because, first of all, I schooled in Libya in the 80s to 90s, and I know that apart from, even when Gaddafi was there, Nigerians and Ghanaians are never involved in anything lawful in Libya. So first of all, we should be able to determine what are the people that call themselves Nigerians are doing in Libya today. So we should be able to get that. Secondly, I think the best for us, I remember when one of the social assistants on the platform, one Sheikh Madeni or something like that, he mentioned this thing about going to Libya. He used his own brother as a case that people should know where they are going to. There is nothing good about Libya. So we should let all these internal foreign ministers, all these things, they should let our people be aware of, even if you have to japa to a place that your life will be secured. Rather than going to a place whereby you will risk your life for nothing. A lot of people have died on that route between Nigeria and Libya.
Yeah.
Going from Niger, Algeria, through all these, a lot of landmines along those routes between Libya and Algeria. Most of our people have died. Please let the government, let people be aware of where they are traveling to because of their own security. Good morning.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mohammed, for calling in and also letting us know that Libya, where it is up there. If anybody who recalls the African map, between Libya and Spain, there's only 300-400 kilometers distance. And Spain is in Europe, and a lot of people are working it out that, once I'm in Spain, I'm in Europe. I'm going to make my way. That is, I think, the immediate concern for most of these people, and that's the promise that is being made them. But Mr. Mohammed just pointed out there that what exactly is it about Libya? Do people, all those people making a beeline trying to cross the desert into Libya, are they aware of what the benefits are, and what the perils are as well? I think people just keep their eye on the fact that Libya is 300-400 odd kilometers, and people will just look at 300-400 odd kilometers between Lagos and Ibadan. How many kilometers is that? Okay, this is a doable affair. Let's go. It's not like that. So somebody was just appealing for information to Nigerians herself.
Well, Brother Fulani, absolutely. Every diplomatic mission in every country keeps track of countries that they will warn their national not to go. They are restricted countries. There was a time that American government looked at Nigeria as a place that Americans shouldn't come. So there's that. They do that as regular practice. How many times have you heard our foreign ministry telling us that Libya is a no-go area? They won't. However, like the last caller said, we cannot allow those who have already made that mistake to become an endangered species.
Yes.
And become something that the country will take advantage of.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they've done the right thing or the wrong thing, they are Nigerians. That's one. Number two,
yes,
that's not an endorsement that they should do the wrong thing. But however, you cannot say somebody had done a wrong thing until you have proven legally, going through the legal process to say this person is guilty.
Indeed.
No one is guilty until that person has been guilty.
A thorough investigation, as you have been saying. Maybe our final caller today is Prince in Abuja. Good morning to you, sir.
Yes, good morning.
Go right ahead, please.
Good morning to you, Uncle Yori, and good morning to your guest in the studio.
Thank you, sir. Good morning.
Yes, I would like to state that these issues we are having, it calls for sober reflection as citizens of this country. Because when we look at the way we're being treated, not just by the whites, which is the Western individuals, but rather from our own black brothers who are residing in our neighboring countries, it begs to say that we as a country, where have we gotten it wrong, that we don't command respect and value for ourselves as individuals? Because looking at the mineral resources we are blessed with and our population, which is our strength, we as a country are supposed to leverage on this to make our country worthwhile. Why we attract outsiders into our country to come and work. We should be seeing Libyans coming into Nigeria to work because things are working for us, not the other way around. They don't have the population, they don't have the mineral resources like we do. So what is the problem?
Yeah.
So everybody that needs to sit up and do the needful to put this country at the forefront of growth should actually work on it. Because it's really, really pathetic. It's really, really pathetic. We are not talking about our brothers who are dying on the sea, just trying to cross over to a foreign land to seek greener pastures. We're not talking about our brothers in the foreign Western world that are being maltreated, given a lot of odd jobs that they will not ordinarily do in Nigeria, but they are doing it there just to survive.
All right, then.
So we need to make our country work, not just for ourselves, but for our children that are coming after us. Thank you, and do have a great
Thank you
day.
very much, Prince, for calling in on that matter. In fact, we've completely run out of time now, Brother Jake, but I want to thank you for coming and highlighting this matter. And we do need to be hearing from the Foreign Affairs Ministry. This is exactly what Mr. President said to all of the ministries and ministers. Let Nigerians know what's going on, what you are doing, because they are working, I can only imagine, and I think it will be a safe bet. But then the next step, they sometimes, fall short on that, coming out to the public and letting us know. So, Brother Jake, I want to thank you for highlighting this issue. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Let's put bilateral relation or relational pressure on everybody concerned and demand for the release of those that have been arrested.
Indeed.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We're going to have to leave it there. Thank you very much. Jake Ekpele, Policy Development and Advocacy expert. So we'll leave it there for now. Do please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folare.